China is promising to retaliate after President Trump imposed billions of dollars worth of tariffs on goods coming into the U.S. last week. I'm Hillary Lane with why the White House's economic advisor says this trade war will likely hit you in the wallet.
And back here in the Treasure State, could the mayor of Helena be getting ready for a statewide political campaign? Wil Collins holding a special public announcement later today, coming up what office he might actually be seeking.
It's 6:30 on the dot here on your Monday morning. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Missy O'Malley with Chet Lehman. Matt Elwell has our Monday forecast here in just a moment. Top story for you here. China is promising to take necessary countermeasures after President Trump imposed billions of dollars worth of tariffs on goods coming into the United States as of last week.
CBS's Hillary Lane is in New York this morning with the details.
The White House's top economic advisor expects China to retaliate after the U.S. increased tariffs last week.
Yeah, I reckon they will. We'll see what they come up with.
On Friday, President Trump increased tariffs to 25%, up from 10% on $200 billion worth of Chinese goods. He also began the process of ordering additional tariffs on remaining imports, worth $300 billion.
Both sides will pay.
Larry Kudlow acknowledged on Fox News Sunday that U.S. consumers and businesses will foot the bill.
Yes, to some extent. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. Again, both sides will suffer on this.
That's counter what President Trump has repeatedly claimed.
It's really ultimately it's paid for largely by China.
Tariffs are actually a tax paid by U.S. companies that import goods from China. The cost is then often passed on to consumers. Some analysts say the hike could cost the American economy $62 billion by next year, an extra $500 to $800 per family.
They're a tax on the American consumer.
Henry Paulson, former Treasury Secretary for President George W. Bush, says the escalation is a missed opportunity for both countries.
They clearly want a deal and need a deal, as does the United States. No one wins a trade war.
President Trump and his Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping are expected to meet during the G20 summit in June. Hillary Lane, CBS News.
Now, both sides say talks will continue. China says that'll happen in Beijing, although U.S. officials say nothing is planned as of now. So we'll continue to follow that.
No doubt about it.
Yep.
Start to the day, not too bad. I mean, the sun's coming out. Looks like a nice start, a nice little sunrise out there.
Yeah, we can handle this. Yeah. Temperatures are going to warm up pretty nicely. Once again today, a beautiful weekend. Today's going to be much the same. We're just going to add a little more wind for a good portion of the area. 27 this morning in West Yellowstone, one of the cooler temperatures that we have. We should be into the mid-70s today under partly cloudy skies. Next few days, we're going to begin to see a transition, especially as you get late in the week. We're going to break that all down, of course, in just a few minutes.
Thank you for that, Matt. Our top state story for you here. Helena Mayor Wil Collins is expected to make what he calls a special announcement today.
Yeah, sources close to MTN say Collins could seek the Democratic nomination to challenge Republican Steve Daines' Senate seat in 2020. Collins posted a video on Twitter and Facebook saying they said it could never be done. A Liberian refugee elected to office in Montana. Let's prove them wrong again. Now, the Post teases a special announcement Monday at 12:30 today at Performance Square in the Walking Mall. Collins received national attention after beating out a longtime incumbent for mayor in Helena back in 2017.
And here's some news that makes Chet awfully happy. The south entrance to Yellowstone National Park is now open for the season.
That's for sure. MTN's John Shearer explains why that can be a big deal for those visiting the park.
The opening of this gate connects Yellowstone with its sister park, Grand Teton, to the south, and saves a 200-mile detour. But more than that, it opens new opportunities for park visitors.
People have been seeing a lot of bears all over the park, including on this corridor between Old Faithful and West Yellowstone. We're getting into that time of year where the elk, especially down in the West Thumb area, along that corridor are going to start to be active.
The road south from Old Faithful to Yellowstone Lake is now open, but as you travel over Craig Pass at 8,200 feet, be prepared for cooler temperatures and lots of snow.
And so we're sort of in that part of the year where we're staggering openings as we bring more staff on.
So in-park services like restaurants and hotels are pretty sparse right now. And while the south gate to Grand Teton is open, the road over Dunraven Pass near Mount Washburn is still closed, as is the Beartooth Highway, which won't open until at least Memorial Day. But Chief Joseph Highway from Cody to Cook City is open, allowing through trips out of the northeast entrance.
If we have, spring snowstorms that come through, we can have road closures with little or no warning.
But the trip to the south part of the park can be rewarding. There are some spectacular views, and Lewis Falls can be seen right from the road. But if you decide to hike, don't forget the bear spray.
Know how to use it, hike in groups, be aware of your surroundings. If you see fresh sign of bears, whether it's tracks or scat, you might want to think about doing that hike on a different day.
Well, the South Road might be open, but as you can see, facilities like the Lewis Lake Campground here are far from being ready for the season. It'll be a while before people are pitching tents here. In Yellowstone National Park, I'm John Shearer for MTN News.
Here's another thing to keep in mind as well. Yellowstone is encouraging all visitors to take what they're calling the Yellowstone Pledge, where you promise to treat the park with an extra measure of respect. You can find a link to that pledge on our websites.
I'll tell you, John is so good at covering those stories.
Yep.
He's like a little boy that comes to life in the park.
I just love it. Even. It's good.
I
yeah,
love it. And here's another really fun story for you. We're moving to this week's Under the Big Sky. Now check this out. Craftbeer.com readers named Lewis & Clark Brewing in Helena the 2019 Best Beer Bar in Montana.
Owner Max Pigman enjoys all the beer he and his team brew, but he really has to choose. He does have a favorite.
Under the Big Sky is sponsored by Rocky Mountain Vein Clinic and Markovich Real Estate.
I purposely forced myself to go down the line and really drink all the beers, but if I had to pick one that I consume the most of, it's our Prickly Pear Pale Ale. Prickly Pear has got a little bit of a lighter body, a little bit lower alcohol, so I can drink more of them. It's got just enough hop character to keep me very interested. We actually put prickly pear cactus juice in every batch, which gives it just a little bit of sweetness. So that's probably my go-to beer. Names are a brainstorm process. It's getting more and more competitive. We were like brewery number, I think, 14 or 1,500 back in the day, and now I think we just went over 8,000 breweries in the U.S. 8,000 breweries and the average brewery making 8 to 12 beers, that's a lot of names. Incredibly difficult now to find a name that someone hasn't already used. Fortunately, we were one of the early guys and registered our names and have the trademarks for them, but new names are always difficult. The big change for me was to change the name of the actual brewery. I started to think, what would be a good name for a brewery? Well, we are in the only Lewis and Clark County in the entire United States. Lewis and Clark obviously came right down the Missouri, not far from here. So I thought, let's leverage the Lewis and Clark name. Really has been a blessing for us. That adventurous spirit, I think, realistically portrays well into what we're trying to do. We want to create some great beers that people continue to go to as their go-to beer, but I also want to surprise people. I want to do some things that say, wow, you're putting that in a beer? Well, look at what Lewis and Clark did. I mean, they had to eat candles for a while, right? So we want to be adventurous in that spirit.
We'll be looking for the candle wax Hefeweizen
That's what I was
anytime
going to say.
soon.
Is that next?
Stay up to date with the latest stories like those. Under the Big Sky, head on over to our Facebook sites for that.
That's pretty cool. And I do like that prickly pear. That is a good one. That
good.
is a good one. Now we're going to switch gears for you here again, almost at 6:39. This month's awaiting child is an outgoing 15-year-old from Missoula who loves animals.
MTN's Katie Miller introduces us to Zoe.
Hi. I have a sense of humor. I'm very outgoing. I like to try new things. Yeah.
Zoe loves playing with puppies because of their unconditional love and companionship. She's looking for those same things in a family.
I want someone that's gonna stick with me through the rough and the good. That'd be great.
She'd like a single mom or a family with younger siblings.
A safe spot, like a support system, where I can go and I'm not gonna be judged.
Zoe will be a sophomore in the fall. Her favorite subject is science.
Earth science, that's pretty cool actually. Go get it!
She wants to be a dentist when she graduates.
I just found dentistry really interesting, you know? Just get to work with other people, help them out.
She also loves music, hiking, and playing hacky sack with her friends.
Friends are very important to me. I love to spend time with my friends.
Zoe wants a family that will support and encourage her to achieve her goals.
I like to be free. I like to be who I am, you know? And if someone's gonna help me let me do that, then, does that make sense? Then that'd be awesome.
In Missoula, Katie Miller, MTN News.
Now, for more information about adopting, call 1-866-FOSTER or visit the Child and Family Services Department website.
Zoe looks like a fun girl.
That's one of our longest running series, Awaiting Child,
that.
and I do love that one very much.
Absolutely.
Help them find a forever home.
I love that.
Yeah.
We do have to take a quick break. Thank you for joining us here bright and early on